How's it going, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to another Locals feature match. We're in round 2 from May 22nd's Locals, and we have Photon Galaxy versus Invoked Shaddoll Dogmatica. Yours truly, of course, piloting the Photon Galaxy deck. And one thing I forgot to mention in the last video is you guys probably already noticed the new camera angle. I did make sort of a new rig to film feature matches with. So instead of using a tripod, I actually built this sort of like PVC pipe overhead camera rig thing to get a more true top-down angle, and also to stop using the tripod because it's a little sketchy. It gets in the way, and this is just a much more convenient way to film feature matches, if you will. So and requires me to have to bring less to Locals because I can actually just leave this here. It is a little shaky sometimes, so I actually did bring it back home to work on a little bit more, make it a little sturdy, so that when Locals does resume in a few weeks, it is fully set and ready to go. But either way, I get to go first here, which is really good. We start with a Pot of Prosperity, and that finds me a Galaxy Wizard. And I know a lot of you guys have probably seen the Photon Galaxy test hand video that I put up a few days ago. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But I am going to be uploading a deck profile very soon. I was planning on putting the deck list in the first episode of One Deck One Month, but that is going to be delayed by a couple weeks now, because of my Locals being delayed a few weeks. So I'm probably just going to actually film a separate deck profile in the meantime, just so you guys can see the current list and know what it looks like, if you will. But unfortunately for me, my opponent has a Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring for my my Photon Orbital, and he told me that the only reason he ashed it was because he knew, he recognized the card, knew what it did, basically from, ABC playing the card for a little time when Union Carry was legal, of course, being able to use it to search out Galaxy Soldier and the like. So he did have the correct Ash, unfortunately for me, which really sucks. But I have to sort of make the second-rate play here to follow things up. I have to use Photon Sanctuary to tribute, special summon the Galaxy Eyes, and that will make live, of course, the Afterglow Dragon. And yeah, this is basically just going to secure me a rank 8 at bare minimum. And the rank 8 I'm going to go for, of course, is going to be number 90, because at least I have found if you're going to be able to make at least one rank 8 with the Photon Galaxy strategy, it's probably best to go with number 90 because it can't be destroyed by card effects most of the time. It gets a monster negate, can also destroy that monster as well, and can get you a card to work with for next turn, which a lot of times the deck really needs, because I find a lot of the better boards, the 3+ interruption boards require pretty much your entire hand, which is really unfortunate because, like, you can either make like a 1.5 interruption board with a deck and, have some cards left over in hand, and then your board gets, kind of blown over anyways, or you exhaust your whole hand. Maybe it gets partially broken, then you really don't have much of a follow-up, which is unfortunate. In a time where you really don't have the opportunity to give your opponent, time to breathe, you unfortunately have to, because you don't really have any other options, because you just don't have card advantage to work with. But either way, again, I pretty much had to expend my entire hand to make a number 90, having only one card left in hand. And my opponent rips, or I don't think he even ripped it, I think he just had it in his opening hand, the Shaddoll Fusion, which is really not much this deck can do to play around Shaddoll Fusion, unfortunately, unlike Earth Machine. If this was Earth Machine, of course, if you activated Shaddoll Fusion, I could just chain Double-Headed Anger Knuckle to tribute itself off the field, so that on resolution of Shaddoll Fusion, there was no extra deck monster on the field, for him to be able to fuse from his deck with. So, but he's going to go ahead and send the Ariel and Wendy, and he's going to go for the El Shaddoll Apgalone, which is going to, I think, act as Chainlink 2. He's going to go Chainlink 1 Wendy, Chainlink 2 Apgalone, Chainlink 3 Ariel, and of course he's going to target my number 90. And I do chain in response number 90's effect to go ahead and either search or attach a Photon Galaxy material, or Photon or Galaxy card. My apologies, can't speak straight. So I go ahead and add a copy of the Galaxy Soldier, because I think I actually have Psyframe Driver in my hand, of all things. Yeah, which is really unfortunate. But at least it'll act as nice discard fodder for my Galaxy Soldier if we get a next turn. But now my number 90 is, of course, negated by the Apollo, and he decides to banish all the cards in my grave except the Pot of Prosperity. Little does he know, I really don't care about anything being banished. I mean, that's not entirely true, because I guess that could stop me from, like, ripping a Photon Sanctuary, playing it, and then being able to basically add back any monster in my grave off the Soul Flare. So I guess in that sense, it kind of hurts a little bit, but, you know, it's not such a huge deal. This deck isn't so graveyard dependent most of the time. And then he normal summons everybody's favorite normal summon, Alistair the Invoker. Of course, that is going to grab Invocation. And at this point, I'm just trying to think to myself, like, is this going to be game? Is he going to set up a Schism? You know, is he going to get a Mechaba? How many interruptions are we going to be talking about here? And, you know, of course, is he going to be able to get to Schism because, you know, he'll just be able to link off the Apollo with the Gravity Controller, you know, and the rest is history pretty much at that point. So at this point, I'm just kind of, like, letting him play it out. See if he, like, you know, makes any mistakes just because, you know, maybe overthinks the situation because he doesn't know what any of my cards do, right? He doesn't know what my deck is capable of doing. So I'm like, I'll just let it play out, see if he kind of fumbles on his own, and we'll see, you know, what I draw for turn, and if whatever I draw for turn, you know, isn't enough, then, you know, we'll just obviously go right into game 2. So, of course, as expected, there is the Gravity Controller, which is such an insane card for this deck. You know, basically grabbing that Schism, and then pitching a Beast. And, of course, Beast will allow him to draw since it was sent for a card effect. Picks up another Shaddoll Fusion. So I believe he has Fleur-de-Lis, Shaddoll Fusion, Invocation, and a few other cards. And they might just be Shaddoll monsters. Links into the Magistus Link one here. And I think from here plays the Invocation. And then I think he goes for Invoked Agodes. Which is a little surprising because I was expecting a Mechaba. And I was also a little confused as to why he sent Ariel. Because, like, nothing in my grave did anything, so he could have just used those cards as free light fodder, essentially, to get to Mechaba, but I guess maybe he felt it was more important to go for the Agodes, because now that my number 90's effects are negated, it can be destroyed by card effects, so I guess it would make sense as to why he's going for that. And, of course, Agodes effects, you know, I think if any time a monster is special summoned, you get to pop a card on the opponent's side of the field, which is actually a pretty solid effect. Yeah, if this card is special summon, or if a monster or monsters is special summoned to your opponent's field, target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it. So that's actually kind of huge against the Photon deck. You know, if I summon back an Afterglow or summon back a Galaxy Eyes and it gets popped, prevents me from going to a rank 8, it's going to be pretty much just as effective as a Mechaba would be, or a Schism, essentially. So yeah, so board's cleared. I'm going to take damage here. Now, this is one spot where I kind of realized after the fact, and I think you'll see me, maybe I already did it, but I checked the cards in my grave. And the reason I did that was because I realized that on Agodes activation, since of course he did not have Meltdown, I could have still attempted to use number 90's effects, detaching the Afterglow. You know, I can still detach for cost, and that would have triggered Afterglow's effect to summon out a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from my hand or deck, which would have prevented me from A, taking a bunch of damage, and given me a bit of a heads up going into this turn, which would have been great to have, at least just that much, you know, versus what I had. But, you know, it is what it is. I drew a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon for turn, which is unfortunate. Yeah, and we're going to head into game 2. And of course, as we do, want to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelists. If you guys are interested in picking up any playmats, dice, deck boxes, sleeves, binders, check them out at the link below. And you guys can use my discount code WinterKills10 off at checkout to get some amazing products and support the channel in the process. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please do not forget to use the affiliate link I have. You guys shop and check out using that link. A small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back in the channel. Helps out a ton. And consider becoming a member of the channel today to get videos like these early. So yeah, like, I definitely should have detached the Afterglow to at least try to get something on board, because the pop effect of Invoked Agodes is a hard once per turn, so I wouldn't have to worry about him popping the Galaxy as I was going to summon. But yeah, it's just one of those things I didn't see until after the fact, so it is what it is. I don't know if it ultimately would have made too big of a difference, because he had Schism, ways to protect that window, make it 3200 with Alistair, so it is what it is. But on my turn, I get started with the Photon Thrasher, summoning out Vanisher to add Galaxy Eyes, go for Blast Dragon, summoning out Galaxy Eyes, right? I'm feeling pretty strong here. You know, feeling like this board's going to end on something pretty decent. Could easily end on Blast Dragon and number 90, you know, which isn't much, but it's pretty good for the Photon Galaxy strategy. So, you know, hoping this expedition resolves, and it does, and we go get a copy of Afterglow, and my opponent has Nibiru on the summon of Afterglow Dragon. So that's perfectly on the 5th summon, and it's going to be an absolute monstrosity of a token. Yeah, huge attack, huge defense. I believe 75 defense and 68 attack. So at this point, I'm like, all right, this isn't so bad. They do have a Photon Sanctuary as a follow-up, so I ended up linking both of those into a copy of Soul Flare. And then I use Soul Flare here to add one back, and I think I add back Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon because I'm still playing Galaxy Knight in this list here. I'm not currently anymore, but I use the Galaxy Soldier to pitch the Dragon to try to get an extender here. Ultimately doesn't matter because, of course, you know, he does have the Ash for it. He held the Ash right up until the very end, which is extremely unfortunate. You know, with my current build that I'm not playing Knight, I still could have grabbed Wizard. Wizard could have tagged out for any Galaxy card. Maybe could have gotten, I don't really know what I could have gotten. Galaxy Knight probably would have been the best card to grab at this particular situation. So I'm still like kind of back and forth. I'm like still playing one Galaxy Knight. I'm not sure. I'm currently experimenting again with Photon Slasher just because, like, you know, access to the rank 5 engine is very, very good. And Slasher's like not a terrible card. You can only summon them when you, while there's an Xyz monster on the field, and it's actually not a hard once per turn or once per turn even to special summon them. So if you have 3 Slasher in your hand and there's an Xyz monster on board, you technically just summon all 3, which is pretty crazy. But I've also thought about maybe playing Overlay Booster instead, because it does have an easier summoning condition, helps to get to the rank 5s a bit more, mainly just the Pleiades for just any extra interruptions because the deck needs it. But yeah, I don't know. The only thing with Overlay Boosters is not searchable like Photon Slasher is. So I'm currently debating whether or not I do the one Photon Slasher or the one Galaxy Knight. Probably might lean towards the Galaxy Knight, but either way, yeah, that Ash is very crippling. And yeah, and like the Nibiru was one thing, obviously, but the Ash and the Nibiru, it's like, all right, you know, I can't do too much past that, unfortunately. I guess I'm trying to think what I could have done possibly if I did not have Galaxy Knight in my deck and I was playing it as if I was using my current list, and maybe there wasn't an Ash on my soldier. So I think obviously I would have had to search Wizard, and I don't know if there's much I could do, to be honest. Maybe I could have like Soul Flare, add back. Yeah, I don't really know there's much I can do. But yeah, he has Shaddoll Fusion. You know, what are you gonna do? Sends Wendy, sends Nibiru. Wendy, of course, is going to summon one from deck, and obviously Shaddoll Construct is going to send one as well. Looks like he's, of course, going to send Schism, because why not just win for free with that card? Basically, Vanity Exemptus nowadays. Just basically win for free. Especially against a deck like Photon's. One special summon, yeah, it's just a GG. So my opponent actually tribute summons for Beast here, which is interesting. I was expecting him to maybe tribute summon Set. But I don't really think it makes a huge difference here. Clears the board. I take 1,000 from the Nibiru over the Soul Flare. Obviously, Construct makes quick work of the token. He goes into Gravity Controller. Of course, that's going to trigger the Construct to just basically add back that Schism. And, of course, that will get set. And it looks like he has Punishment in hand as well. So, playing through Schism Punishment with a top deck of Galaxy Soldier, yeah, not happening. No chance. Snowball's chance in hell there to win that one, unfortunately. Yeah, so Invoked Shaddoll taking the match 2-0. You guys probably voted for that in the poll. I don't blame you. Had the Ash in the right time game 1. Had the Nibiru and the Ash at the perfect time in game 2. Yeah, of course it's going to be a 2-0 loss. So yeah, either way, I hope you guys had more fun watching that match than I did playing in it. And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, Winner Kills signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. And last but not least, a special shout out goes to all the YouTube members supporting this channel. And of course, a special thanks to our Divine Level channel member, and he is Chaddoll. 84, thank you, man, so much for your continued and extremely generous support of the channel.